Hi folks, welcome to this quick introductory video on why Wing Chun is the most deadly art alive, or that's how we are taught. Wing Chun has been popularized throughout the world and has become one of the most popular Kung Fu styles throughout the world, mainly due to this fellow here, popularized by Bruce Lee. And Wing Chun was probably the first martial art that he was actually introduced to as he was growing up in the mean streets of Hong Kong. But Bruce, being the philosopher and real thinker of a fighter that he was, he went on to bigger and better things and really brought Wing Chun to the Western world, and he went on to develop his own sort of philosophy and fighting style, which was immortalized in this book, The Tao of Jeet Kune Do, which I highly recommend. It's a great read. And apart from being an international movie star and a legend, he really popularized Wing Chun around the world. So we have a lot, amongst many other things, to thank Bruce for. Now, one of the key concepts and philosophies of Wing Chun is it was designed for and by women. It was taught initially to a young village girl, I think it was Yip Wing Chun, and from a nun from the Shaolin monastery, as legend tells us. And if you can imagine a little Chinese village woman, small in stature as they would have been those days, starving and ploughing and working their ways in the fields back then, hundreds of years ago. They were quite small in stature and really didn't have a lot of strength to ward off invaders and enemies, so they really needed a system that would suit and be adaptable to for them and their stature. That is why, and it leads us to brilliantly, nice little segue to note that Wing Chun is not reliant on brute strength alone, and not reliant at all on brute strength, to be honest. It is a system developed to work with the biomechanics of the body, and anyone can do it regardless of gender, age, shape or size. But I'm sure if you were the size of our good friend here, Jay Cutler, it wouldn't hurt. But not necessarily, as the system is designed for people of a smaller stature. But anyone can do it, and it is one of the systems. That's why it became so popular throughout the world, as it was a system embraced by many people, regardless of their background. And it's important to know that Wing Chun works as a form of systems and concepts. Now, these systems and concepts are introduced from an early stage, I should say, introduced for the first form, which is Silim Tao, or Little Idea form. Here's where all aspects of the Wing Chun system are taught, even though you're not aware of it, through this form, which is very simple, very basic if you were to look at it, but it really later branches out and gives you the tools and the foundation of your further Wing Chun training. That's why it's so called the Little Idea form, as from these little ideas and concepts that are learnt in Silim Tao, bring on a broader idea, I suppose, of the system and become more all-rounded and fully embracing for further forms, and gives you probably the complete system of Wing Chun in this one simple idea of form. And that takes us to the next form, which is Chun Kill, or Bridging the Gap. In this form it taught more on improving of leg work, more maneuverability, and the concept of simultaneously using both hands to strike and attack your opponent, how to engage your opponent in a series of sort of strategies and techniques called entry techniques, if you like, where you bridge the gap between yourself and your opponent, where you can instigate a set of attacking sequences that are the most effective. And a lot of those techniques are founded, or can be found, in the Chun Kill form, and that's philosophies. That's why it's called Bridging the Gap, as you can see here, and that it enables you to incorporate and build upon your Wing Chun skills to become a more proficient fighter. And from learning Chun Kill takes you to the next form, which is Bil Ji, or Thrusting Fingers form. Now, this is probably the most advanced form of the system, and as you can see, Thrusting Fingers, one of the basic philosophies of this is that from a punch, regular old-fashioned punch here to the thrusting fingers form, it really does give you that extra edge in terms of range and reach. And the system around Bill G is quite advanced and quite complex, however very effective as you learn conditioning of those fingers so they don't break when you strike, but also specific techniques of where to strike, which is incorporated into, I'd say, probably the most advanced philosophies and teachings of Wing Chun, and that's what makes Bill G very dynamic and very effective. So as you know, in any fight or any confrontation, every inch counts, and this form certainly does that for you, and is quite explosive and quite effective. And that comes down to second, probably my first, I'd say, apart from Bill G, aspect of the Wing Chun training system, and that is Chi Sao, or the sticky hands technique. Showed magnificently here by Bruce Lee and his master Yip Man, also a very famous teacher. And as you can see, doesn't matter what age you need to be, Wing Chun is definitely for everyone, young and old. And if you've seen sort of videos or clips of Chi Sao, you might have seen a rocking sort of motion of the wrists back, side to side. But what Chi Sao really is, impossible to explain it within the next confines of this video. But really what you're doing is you're trying to find a forward motion opening to break through your opponent's defenses, and they're doing the same to you. So this is very much a technique that teaches how to fight by feeling the energy and movement of your opponent's hands and trying to break through the defenses, and him doing likewise to you. So you're trying to simultaneously attack and defend, and this is where you learn a lot about strategy and technique, and really helps you become a more encompassing and all-rounded fighter. And also part of the Wing Chun system, one of the weapons forms is the Dragon Pole form, which is quite elegant and builds upon the systems of Wing Chun. But there are no guarantees that if you master this form that you'll lay waste to the town, just like our good man Yip Man here. It's part of the movie promotion. But it is very flowing, very fluid, and it helps you learn coordination and skill. And the companion weapon, the butterfly swords, which is probably my favourite weapon to use in the Wing Chun system, where you turn basically what you've learned from an open hand sort of technique from the forms. The swords are used as an extension of your hands, so to speak, and use the same concepts of Wing Chun, just incorporated into a weapons form. So here you really build upon the systems and teachings of Wing Chun, and really helps you become a more all-rounded fighter as you learn different applications of what you've learned. An interesting story between the butterfly swords and the dragon pole, which probably I'll show in a different video, which is quite interesting. A bit of history about that myself, which I'll like to share to you at another time. And we're coming close to the end now, but I could not leave this video without showing you the tools of the trade. I'd like to introduce you to the wooden dummy, who could be your new best friend as a budding Wing Chun practitioner, and also your worst enemy. This tool is quite priceless in learning and becoming a fully rounded Wing Chun practitioner and martial artist, as a lot of the concepts that you learn in the forms, or even some of the techniques that you learn in sparring, are applied to the wooden dummy, and provides you countless hours of practice and joy, I'd like to say, because it teaches you and really hammers home the concepts in Wing Chun in a more very practical sort of form. So that's pretty much it for a very brief overview of the Wing Chun system. If you'd like to find out more information, please visit my website at wingchuntraining.net, and hopefully you'll find a lot more information, probably more in depth at that website. If you have any comments or queries, I'd love to hear from you, so you can leave a comment below. But if you'd like to subscribe to future videos, feel free to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see and speak with you soon. Goodbye and good luck with your training.